complexity. No, you're not seeing things. Firezerg did play against Cruncher. Firezerg answered the skill testing question correctly. I think we're going to change the rules next week and say that players on the invite list will only play through the invite list. But at any rate, we are going to go to Shakura's Plateau as Firezerg gets the northeastern spawn here as the Pink Zerg, and the southwestern spawn, a Ledge from Team BBV, as we mentioned. A Ledge, yeah, see. Oh, he was saying something really weird. So Fires are clearing up the name of the opponent. Alej is currently on a 2-game win streak. He currently owns $10 from this tournament, or from this King of the Hill, actually, for dethroning Cruncher, a 5-time champion. So Cruncher will net $20, and he does have 5 consecutive wins. Alej is trying to take a shot at that to see if he can take over. The person with the most consecutive wins within the night will win $50. This, of course, is the challenger being presented by L2Sc.net and L2Sc.tv. This is Iced, of course, from L2Sc TV, and Byam from L2Sc TV.
Yeah, we're seeing the other map that I said we'd see. We're seeing Shakura's Plateau already spawning at cross positions. Of course, you cannot spawn vertical. Some people still get that wrong, although I'm not seeing it as much as I used to. I remember a month after Shakura's Plateau, I was watching a whole bunch of replays, and every single one they scouted vertical. And I'm not talking about like bronze, silver, platinum, diamond. No, I was talking about like these are high level diamond players scouting vertical, and I was like, wait a minute. How do you not know? It's because they're not active members on Team Liquid. I think that one of the best ways to improve your gameplay is just go on to Team Liquid and search for stuff and search for replays, search for the latest stuff. Don't try and avoid this strategy discussion forum, because you'll either be banned or you just get some bad advice. Unless it's started, of course, by a reputable member. But Liquipedia, of course, also a very nice source of information. But lots of plugs going out to Team Liquid right now. Anyways. Firezerg building a spawning pool at his main right now, which is normally what you see your spawning pool at, as well as a proxy pylon slash blocker of the hatchery placed at the expansion of Firezerg. Let's go to Alej's base. It's singular, not plural. He finished building a gateway and is building a cybernized court. No zealot out of that. Any zealot? No zealot from that gateway. Building the first one right now, as well as just macroing up his economy. So pretty usual. All right, cool stuff.
Yeah, Ledge blocking Firezerg. I don't know if Firezerg was intending to fast expand. He did have the drone out there, but did not have anywhere near 300 middles until now. So possibly looking at the expansion now, as he does use the Zerglings to clear away that pylon. One Zergling will chase the probe to prevent it from actually rebuilding a pylon or anything like that. So that will let Firezerg now take his expansion about the 4-minute mark. 21 food mark, which isn't too bad. I think he actually anticipated that, so definitely doing a good job of keeping his drone numbers up, as you can see, getting metabolic boost, the speed for the Zerglings as well. Alej doing very similar play, getting the sentry started on his second unit, chrono boosting on the cyber cores, probably going to get into that 3-gate expand again, even though it's a shorter distance than, or sorry, a longer distance than what we were seeing on Shakura's Plateau, but on Zalaga Caverns. I think this build would still be effective since he utilizes proxy pylons quite a bit here. So Firezerg's going to test the front, realize that there's a bit of a wall set up, Alej getting a pretty similar 3-gateway opening. Second gas is up, I was going to say no gas, but there definitely is gas in play. Rear pylon going down, very good idea from Alej to make sure you can see those destructible rocks. Knowing that your opponent is cross positions like this, it's a good idea to make sure he can't backdoor you like that. It's very easy for a roach push to gouge out both rocks and just kind of surprise your mineral line while you're worried about the Zerglings at your front. So Firezerg doing his Maynard right now and just getting set up, actually, because we don't look like we're going to have too much aggression here in the early game. I'm expecting both players to try to macro up, and we'll probably see a more aggressive mid-game from both players.
Yep, as this is one of the most friendly Zerg maps, if not the most Zerg friendly maps, because of the long rush distances, almost always guaranteed. Even if you are spawning both on the top or both on the bottom, it's still a moderately large rush distance, unless you of course destroy those destructible rocks, which still take time to destroy and all that stuff. But additionally, unlike stuff like Jungle Basin or stuff like that, you know, all the bases are close to each other, and unlike I can't remember that map, but it had lots of destructible rocks, and that's why Zerg hated it. It will come to mind eventually, and I'll probably blurt it out at some random time. Steps of War? No, it was another one. It was like destructible rocks at pretty much every single expansion. I believe it was taken off the map pool a while ago, so yeah, I don't think we can see it anymore. But Zerg hated that map, and Zerg liked this map a lot, because you can get, like, easily you can get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 expansions. And then, really, it's up to the Protoss player to try and prevent you from doing so, which he looks like he's actually planning on doing, because he does have 6 sentries, 2 zealots, and 3 stalkers already ready to go. Just pressing the units tab to see if that confirms that. Yes, it does. Let's go back over to the Zerg player's base. He is sending up a bunch of Zerglings over here to possibly go and check out the lower Zelnaga watchtower, and then head over to the base of Ledge to see exactly what is he up to. Why is he taking so long to attack me? Because normally you would expect the Protoss player to try and do a little bit of pressure onto Fire Zerg. But I think he's a little bit smarter than that right now, because Fire Zerg going for those spine crawlers, so a little bit of a good job there by Ledge to kind of hold himself back a little bit, because he knows, alright, the Zerg player is not going to attack me, no way right now, because you know, the rush distance works both ways. You know, it's not like one player has obviously a shorter rush distance than the other. Sure, Lings are faster, but in the end of the day, it still takes you a longer time to get to the other person's base. So Ledge is going to be feeling pretty comfortable in just macroing up right now, as really he hasn't put any more military units up quite yet. He does have an observer coming out, so I believe after that observer finally gets a scout off onto the base of Fire Zerg, he will decide whether to go for more tech or to go for an early push.
Yeah, it looks like Fire Zerg chased away a Zealot from the Northern Watchtower. Really good job of pinning it and actually killing it, which was pretty useful. Now he has a position on the lower ground here of Alej's base. Alej really not able to get anything going here, as he's basically being contained pretty well. Fire Zerg taking that the very southern, the 7 o'clock expansion there. Hatchery may be a little out of position, though. I think it might be a little high, as a matter of fact, but maybe I'm wrong. The run distance for those drones looks a lot higher than normal, but at any rate, Fire Zerg's got a really good economic position right now. He's got a 10-worker lead there. And yeah, getting Mutalisk on the map will be very, very awesome, allowing him to harass all sorts of base from Alej. You can see Alej is starting to clear out his back rocks. That will pose a little bit more of a threat for Fire Zerg, but not too bad of an issue. As he's going to have a lot of stalkers out. The Mutalisks are coming in for Fire Zerg, 8 Mutalisks in this current ball. So we'll see if he what he does to push out there. As looks like he's still shooting at the rocks. Fire Zerg does see that. I don't think Lej saw the Mutalisk or not. Maybe not, but Fire Zerg is going to take this opportunity to get his Hydralisk den started, as well as a macro hatchery on his high ground. The Hydralisk den was a replacement for something else. He had canceled something to switch into Hydralisk. Perhaps seeing the stalker numbers there at the back shooting at the rocks is a very good warning point for Hydralisk. Twilight Council for Alej started, so he's going to try to look to get more upgrades from the Forge, as Fire Zerg is doing some pretty good harassment right now at the back of the middle line, losing one Mutalisk, but taking out 1 or 2 probes there. The cannon being credited that Mutalisk kill. So Alej still being kind of contained. Fire Zerg great Zergling spread out front. And Alej just moving his stalkers around the back, actually building up a second cannon in his base, knowing that Mutalisk are out. No Corsair or anything available. He'd love to have some Corsair right now, I think, but his army numbers are swelling quite a bit, actually. You can see he's a little bit behind in terms of food, but definitely a pretty sizable stalker sentry and 2 or 3 zealots in there. As they are going to cross midfield and test Fire Zerg's defense.
You were saying that the expansion of Fire Zerg over in the bottom right is out of position. It is indeed. I think the average for, like, I have a 1080p out monitor. 3 fingers is about the distance between, depending how large your fingers are, about the distance between the base and the mineral patches. But anyways, Fire Zerg now in a little bit of trouble as a whole bunch of spine crawlers frantically trying to burrow themselves as these Mutalisks as well as Zerglings trying to delay the army of Alej, as now trying to go to work against this army and actually doing a pretty good job. Mutalisks can be strong against Stalkers in small quantities, but that's definitely not a small quantity of Stalkers. That's a lot of Stalkers, so Firezerg possibly losing a lot more units than he could have if he backed out just a little bit more and waited for some more reinforcements. I think Firezerg just realized his base is out of position, and he just realized that. And looking at his units lost, you can clearly see the difference. It's about 1,250 resources lost for Alej, and Firezerg at 2,600, so sitting not too comfortably, although he's going to try and even it out a little bit more by harassing with these Mutalisks. Of course, the Protoss player can warp in, but at the same time, his entire army is over at his third, so he is going to be in a little bit of trouble, possibly going to supply block him, although he does have 148 supplies, so he has a nice little cap there. As he should finish off this pylon. There we go. Oh, nice. He was able to cancel.
Stops the warp in.
Yeah, 4 Stalkers, I believe. But there are going to be more Stalkers now warped into the south corner of his base, and actually Blink finished, which I didn't see because my production tab wasn't open. So Blink is finished here for Alej. That's going to be enormously good against the Mutalisks. Since if they are in an army composition, you can Blink right on top of the army and have access to those Mutalisks, as well as if you get surrounded by Zerglings, you can Blink out, as well as if you're getting harassed in your base by Mutalisks or whatever the Zerg player decides to harass your base with. You can just go with those Zergling, or just go with that Blink and Blink out. So anyways, there was a little engagement there in the top right from Firezerg and Alej, and he just force fielded and said goodbye.
Yeah, it looks like Alej using that poke out to get that third base going. Very, very good. Firezerg getting his fourth base started, 5th hatchery. He does have a macro hatch on his high ground, so he will be able to continually produce units. Zergling Hydros Mutalisks seems to be the desired competition right now for Firezerg. It's going to be difficult because he is going to be facing Colossus very shortly. Alej is kind of pincering right now. Mutalisk out of position, so these Zerglings and Hydros are forced to kind of move around. Mutalisk coming back now, engaging on the right side, forcing the box in on Alej's units. That's going to do significant damage to Alej here, but the Colossus on the back, toasting those Hydros. The Mutalisk need to reposition to get that Colossus down, or get something on the Colossus. It got 6 Hydrolus kills, practically uncontested. Firezerg trying to push up with the Spine Crawlers, but not able to. Colossus with 7 kills, and it is going to challenge these Spine Crawlers before they get finished. Firezerg's definitely not out of it yet. He can macro back up, but if you look at the units, the resource count, the big swing again for the favor of Alej. Firezerg mis-rallying a lot of units here, actually. I don't think he's realized those hatcheries are producing units to the back of the base. Overlord's being sniped and pushed back, and Alej is going to take that opportunity to regain control and take his 4th base in the top left. Firezerg needs to find the engagement angle on that. He was definitely out of position there. He's trying to catch up in upgrades as well. You can see Alej is at 2-0. He's almost completed his 3-0 upgrades versus Hydrolus with Colossus. It's going to be very, very deadly. Corruptors coming out this time for Firezerg instead of the Mutalisk to help deal with the Colossus, but he's going to be really handicapped. 7 Corruptors is a bit much for the amount of Colossus that he's seen. There's a lot more Stalkers there. These 3-0 upgrades is what scares me. 3-0's Protoss units are pretty strong. They don't really need defensive upgrades. They do a pounding of damage. Colossus are amazing, so we'll see if what Firezerg can put together here, but he's sticking to this lower tech army. Obviously, Zergs don't really push into Ultralisk or anything like that too frequently, but this is one of those situations where it's going to come down to the engagement angle, and if he can avoid most of the force fields, or at least try to snipe out the Colossus before significant damage goes in onto his more fragile Hydrolisk Zergling army.
4 more warp gates being produced by Alej, now chrono boosting 3 of them and finally making the 4th into a warp gate. Was a little bit delayed on that one, but he is going to try for a little bit more of a push here. I don't even know why I say a little bit more of a push, because, I mean, you can't even have... Well, you get it. Anyways, it's a mistake. Sorry I keep saying that. Destructible Rocks now taking a beating from a lot of laser beams. If you have an exclusively laser beamed army from Alej, all Stalker sentries, and a Colossus.
This would be the engagement angle that Firezer's looking for, is if the Protoss will poke through these two rocks here to where basically that westernmost creep tumor is. If he can engage from all three sides, form a concave, looks like Alej is very aware of that. He is just sniping out the watchtowers, and he's going to go back. Alej taking his 5th base in the middle now, so starting to expand towards Firezer. Going to be more difficult to defend now from both angles as he is closing the distance. Firezer falling behind in terms of the economy because of that. A big economic advantage for Alej. Firezer taking his 5th base, though, about the same time, just a little bit delayed. Rocks down in Alej's base. I don't know if he's paid attention to that. He will know now, but there are no units, really. Just basically just cannons. No probes here for these Zerglings to harass, as most of the minerals are, or all the minerals are gone. So that Zergling attack's getting wiped up. 3-1 Zealots. 3-2 Zealots on the way, and oh my god, the ground upgrades for Alej, very on point. Only 1-0 for the 1-1 for Firezer, 1-0 for the air. So he's going to be falling quite a bit behind. Hive Tech coming up, four Colossus in there, and just a handful of Sentry Stalker. So Alej has a pretty big ball here as both players are getting near their unit cap. Fires are definitely behind in terms of income here, so it's going to come down to what engagement angle Firezer could take advantage of. If he cannot take advantage of it, Alej's next attack is going to be just devastating.
Firezerg scraping the bottom of the barrel in terms of tech. He's going for the Infestor, which is a good unit, but at the same time, looking at the range of the Colossus, that Infestor is not going to be doing too well, as well as with all these Stalkers here. It really, even if you mind control the Colossus, not going to do too much, as well as if you do some fungal growth on the Stalkers, it could do well. Infestitarian's obviously not going to do too much with this army as well. You need to have a lot of Infestors and a lot of energy on those Infestors in order for the Infestitarian to actually do any sort of damage. Dark Shrine almost completed here, and I think this might be the nail in the coffin for Firezerg, is all you need to do is just put a 2 Dark Templars in each one of those bases, and Firezerg's all of a sudden going to be in a position where he A, won't have the detection, and B, doesn't have enough of an army to spread over all that distance. And there we go. Oh, more force fields going down. Going to completely snipe this hatchery in 3 laser beam shots. That's what makes those giant laser beams of the Colossus so effective. We do have 6 Infestors out right now for Firezerg, so it's going to be pretty good for maybe mind control, if you can mind control a whole bunch of these. But of course, I don't think he has that researched yet. I'm going to quickly click on those Infestors. Nope, no, not researched. So he's pretty much restricted to fungal growth, and that's not going to do too much against this huge army of Stalkers, as well as these Colossi. I mean, sure, you can fungal growth and get up close to them, but that's still not going to be enough. You need to have a huge army in order to take down this, and it's going to be incredibly difficult for Firezerg to do anything. He also did another upgrade, which I can't remember what it was, but it also was a very strange one. Anyways.
Yeah, Alej is going to reinforce with carriers, actually. So, Graviton Cannibal in research right now, +1 air weapons in research as well. So when he is maxed out right now, but you can see the money for Alej is continuing to skyrocket. 4 Stargates in the top left. So basically, he's going to reinforce with carriers and a mothership. Greater Spire coming out right now. There is the mind control just started for Firezerg, so he will try to take advantage of those Colossus. Possibly the carrier later on, as mind control was adjusted way late in the beta to be able to attach itself to the capital ships. So we'll see what happens here. Firezerg does need to hold on before engaging for that Neuroparasite to be completed. He's trying to just reinforce with Spine Crawlers. Spine Crawlers very cheap at this phase of the game, but very good for controlling ground, preventing little attacks here and there. 6 o'clock expansion going down for Firezerg. Don't know if Alej is aware of it just yet, but right in the happy face there at the bottom. Firezerg also retaking his second natural expansion in the top right. So he's taking the aggressive expansion count, but he is definitely behind in terms of power, in my opinion. Quite a bit behind in terms of army power and the reinforcement ability for Alej now. He's got, how many gateways? There's 7 there, plus 2, plus 1, 8, 13 gateways. So Yeah, he's going to be able to reinforce, or sorry, 11 gateways. He's going to be able to reinforce pretty quickly, as well as the carriers, the upgrades coming, and just upgrades for Alej right now are really what's changing the game. Fires are not able to continue with upgrades. Broodlords coming, though. They will be helpful, but when the carriers show up, it might be a bit of a problem. So 4 Broodlords coming out, the hatcheries still continuing to be thrown down for Fires are. Neuroparasite is finished. Pathogen glands finished as well, so they will be able, infestors will be able to spawn and produce a neuroparasite or at least a fungal growth right away. Broodlord harassment coming down right now. Few Void Rays mixed in, 3 Void Rays actually mixed into Alej's army. That will help deal with the Broodlords. Corruptor's still out as well, but pretty good damage actually from the Broodlords being done at this expansion, and here comes the push from Alej.
Yeah, he's blinking right into the base of Fire Zerg, and Fire Zerg gonna receive a whole bunch of damage. This is what I was talking about. Infestors just can't get close enough to those Colossi with that Thermal Lance. Almost all the Infestors going down. I believe only 1 Infestor remains in the red. All of the army of Fire Zerg going down with pretty much little to no fight. I mean, there's that huge just mass of burning units in the front, and it's just so sad to see. I mean, I've played Zerg, and I know exactly how he's feeling right now. He's just like, oh, come on. Almost. Yeah,
Fire Zerg needed to flank on that. He had all of the units trapped in there, force field trapping, and he should have paired off his army rather than coming from straight from the side there. 3 Dark Templar in there doing pretty significant damage. Broodlords not able to make up the damage, and Fire Zerg GG's. Alej goes on his 3rd win streak right now, and still pushing even further Cruncher's record of 5 consecutive wins for the night.
We're looking at, like a while ago, we were looking at the record of Cruncher, and we're like, okay, how can people do this good? How can people go on this 5-game winning streak and try and take out Cruncher and at least contest for the $50 that is ever so craved by all the gamers out there.
coveted
$50. And it looks like actually Alej making his merry way onto matching Cruncher, or at least beating him.